Okay, let's bring this baby home. I was a landlord who had a tenant, the same tenant for 12 years. Around year 10, she stopped paying rent. The world was in a pandemic, so the courts shut down. And the system said she had rights, tenant rights, to sit there in heat and water and comfort while I footed her bills for 1 year and a half. And then the world decided to try and right itself. The courts reopened and I, without a lawyer, filed for eviction. I won, all was fair, or some version of it, until September 8th, 2021, the day of the eviction. In short, my tenant mollywopped my ish. Her main weapon of choice, the damn water I was forced to keep on. And then there was the raw chicken and the pork chops and the 10s and 20s of raw sausage rolls she rolled down the vents, along with lard and yogurt and beans and mayo. Who even has that much mayo? Turns out I was better than blessed because my insurance policy covered it all. This is the finale. This is the 9-month journey it took to put my house back together. This is how the story ends. Hey y'all. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 13th. And it is the day. Today is the day. We go and we close on the house today at 2 p.m. Who knew? As you know from yesterday when we discovered that the appraisers were not going to move up on the price, I just decided to surrender and give up the fight because, they had mentioned about ordering a new one, which has no guarantees, X, Y, and Z, with a new appraiser, that whole thing. But it's like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put this baby to rest. Let's just end this chapter. And so that's what we're doing. And once we made that decision, we got a 2 o'clock for the closing. So last night I had to sign some, advised paperwork. And so now the house was going to sell for $385,000. It is now sold for $360,000, $360,000, which is actually a pretty beautiful number. Y'all know my thing with threes, and threes are numerology sense of the term. So numbers divisible by 3. 6 plus 3 equals 9, and then 3 goes into 9. 3 times. 9 is the perfect number. They say it's the only number that every number has to answer to. Like when you do math, all things resolve to 9 when you do math. I don't know. There's a whole example. I seen this in a YouTube video with these numbers, and it was like when you multiply like, first of all, the 9 tables, everything, when you add it, it goes back to 9. So yeah, it's a whole situation. But anyways, 360. I thought it was 355, but the appraisal came back at 355. I guess I stopped reading all the details. I was looking at all the comps and stuff. So the appraisal came back at 355. The buyer is doing a $5,000 appraisal gap contingency, so it makes the final sales price 360. Yeah. I feel bittersweet. And it's so funny. I was listening to some of my other videos about this clear yes and knowing what you know because you feel and you receive this clear yes. Honestly, I don't feel like I received a clear yes. But again, trying to listen and trying to discern, I'm not sure if I don't feel like it's a clear yes, only because I just feel like I'm not walking away completely satisfied. And again, satisfaction is subjective because I believe I was trained to feel like 385 is what I was entitled to. That entitlement. I'm like, yeah. So anyways, you know, we listed a house for 360, so that's exactly what we're receiving. And you know, there have been markets where sellers had to offer a lot of contingencies just to make their product attractive. So I can't complain, guys. Y'all know I can't complain. But the bittersweet, I'm thinking about the fact that I purchased that house in 2004, July. I had just turned 28 years old. It was my first home. My son was 11 years old. 11. We had some good times in that house. It definitely was a home. The only reason why I moved, because I never felt like the house was too small for me, or I outgrew it, or I want better. I'm a pretty satisfied person when it comes to materialistic things. The only reason why I moved is because I was doing a 2-hour one-way commute to work. So I was spending 4 hours a day just in traffic alone, going back and forth to work. And so there became a point in my career where I was like, you got to move closer to where you work. You just got to move closer where you work. Virginia was always known to be a more expensive place. And I was just like, it just is what it is. So I did it, and without preparation, but come to find out, Virginia didn't turn out to be more expensive. I actually saved at that point. I was paying $800 a month in gas. Gas wasn't even high. Imagine if the gas prices were the way they are now, how much it would have been. But $800 a month just in commuting. And I had a hybrid. So I was doing $800 a month. So of course, moving to Virginia, put that money back in my pocket. Then y'all know the story. I was able to do house hacking because I lived so close to work. I was able to rent out my space to interns who also lived close. Were interning close to where I lived. So it made my house attractive as far as location was concerned. So moving to Virginia it saved me more money, and it made me more money. You know, other than that, I wouldn't have moved to Virginia. I would have stayed. I would have been there. You know, the house would have been paid off. But yeah, so it just feels bittersweet because it just feels like the end of an era. The end of an era. I've had that house been in my life since 2004. 2004. It's now 2022. Had I been into finances back when I first bought that house, because I wasn't on a financial journey. I didn't know much about finances. All I knew was pay your bills. And that's what I did. Just paid the bills that they sent me the bill for. No more, no less. But had I been better steward of my money there, more educated about my finances there, I definitely would have been in a better position as far as lower interest rates on that home. I kept a high interest rate for longest. Didn't even look into refinancing. Only because people said, well, you know, if you refinance, you know, again, listen to people who've never been in your position, but giving you all the advice, right? So I kept a high interest rate for so long. And my house mortgage on that house used to be $2,700. $2,700. Like, wow. It's $1,600 now. $2,700. So I would have definitely refinanced. PMI would have dropped off sooner. PMI did drop off of that property, but it would have dropped off sooner. I would have. Y'all, I did a HELOC loan on that house. I did a HELOC loan. I rolled my car into the HELOC loan. So at one point, even though the original mortgage on that house, I took out $215,000. I believe it was $215,000. It could have been anywhere between $215,000 and $225,000. I can't remember. Oh, really? Really? Yeah, I can't remember. But when I did the HELOC loan, and then I rolled things like my car, again, stuff people tell you to do. I rolled my car into it. I rolled this, I rolled that into it. So then the house was at like around $245,000. So today, all these years later, I still owe $211,000 on that home. You know what I'm saying? Didn't bring down that principal all that much. Had I been on a journey to at least pay off more on that house, I would have been paying less in interest on the overall product. And today I would have been walking away with a bigger take-home check because I would have had less loan to pay off. But again, if I count all the blessings, because y'all know it's all, count it all joy, guys. And so Section 8 and the tenant paid that mortgage. Then there was a point where 2 years, the last 2 years of that house, where she wasn't paying her portion of the mortgage, but Section 8 was paying. And at one point, Section 8 still covered enough to pay the entire mortgage, but then they lowered their amount and they raised her amount. So then I had to start adding $200 to the mortgage. I had to start adding $200 of my own money to make the mortgage, to have enough to pay the mortgage. Then they did it again. They did another price cut where they paid even less and she had to pay more when they did income verification, saying that because of the amount of income she brought in, she had to pay more money, but she wasn't paying. So what that really meant was I had to pay more money. So my $200 I had to come out of my pocket, then increased to $500. And at that point, I was like, she has to go. She's not willing to communicate. She's not willing to work anything out. She's not willing to even try. And I have people in my own family who could use a $500 assistance from me. So why would I be assisting a whole complete stranger with my money? Why would I do that? And so that's when we picked up on this journey together on this channel. And we started talking. I don't know what this camera is on, but that's when we, on this channel, let me just pull over right here real quick. My agent just texted me. So she's like, "Good morning, gorgeous. I received a message from the lender. They needed the addendum indicating the final price before he could get final approval from underwriting and doesn't expect title to have the paperwork until tomorrow or Friday." Oh, Lord. So it's not going to be today. "I am in a meeting until 8:30. You can call me after that. Do you prefer to sign and get your part out of the way or wait until the lender provides the final clear to close?" We having this whole conversation that's good for nothing. Does this mean closing is not today, but on Friday? Dang. Okay, y'all. We thought we was talking, didn't we? Well, anyways, I'm gonna have to wear this whole outfit because I really like my vibe today. I got my red pumps. Casual chic. Alright, so where were we? I don't even know where we were. What was I saying? I done pulled over. I guess I can rewind. Okay, I think this is where I was at. I was saying that's where we picked up on this channel, talking about what happened, and it was by accident, by happenstance, because being a budget channel, I was talking about I forgot to pay my mortgage on the rental property. And it was like, oops, late fee, all of that. And I had to go to the bank and get the money out the bank to put it in another bank so that I could pay that mortgage ASAP. Because the bank that I paid the mortgage for the rental property isn't a rental account. And the rental account didn't have enough money in it to cover the mortgage. So I had to take money from my one bank and physically bring it to the bank so that I didn't have to wait for money for anything to clear. And I was like telling y'all that because on the channel, we're accountability partners. And I wanted to be transparent and let y'all know about my mishap. And then I was like, but what had happened was, because y'all didn't know until then. Up until then, I never talked about my rentals. I never talked about tenants. I never talked about any of that stuff. I just talked about income. As a matter of fact, I even took out the rental income. Like, y'all never even seen the rental finances in my income sheets. So it was like, well, let me back up since y'all don't know and tell y'all the story about my rental and what situation I'm in with my tenant due to the pandemic and the struggle I've been having. Y'all, when I decided to open up and tell y'all about that and then bring y'all on the journey of how do we either resolve this problem or have a tenant evicted from my property, I got so many more subscribers to this channel. I made over $20,000 just on those kinds of videos. Not even talking about the other videos, just those specific videos. So what I'm saying is this situation has brought me more money than I could have ever lost. Then even with the fact of what she did to the house, the fact that all of that was covered by insurance. I'm blessed. Okay, so sellers have the option to sign their paperwork in advance. The loan will not be funded until Thursday or Friday. Do you prefer to wait until the day the wire can be sent? Is usually not received until the next business day. Or do you want to sign today? Closing is official. The lender just needs time to process the loan with the final sales price. I'm going to tell her. Yeah, so this has been nothing short of a blessing in disguise. And as my mother said, which I believe we caught before the camera died, as my mother said, even in this, we don't even know what blessings this holds. Not just for me, but even for the person buying the house, because we all deserve to be blessed. We all deserve a blessing. Honestly, you know how when people say, God looks out for me, God looks out for me, but the bottom line is God looks out for all of us, right? And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I don't feel like it's at my expense because, guys, 385, 360, I am a winner. I won. And even if I say 385, 360, $25,000 difference, I will make up that $25,000 because now we have more ideas. We have more things we can talk about, more things we all need to be educated on, especially with this whole appraisal process. And so, yeah. All right, so we're going to wait to sign with the buyer. Awesome. I'm going to say, so that will be either Thursday or Friday. So when y'all see me in this outfit again tomorrow or next day, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. But I think y'all have helped me so much through this process. So many of you guys have offered awesome advice, great ideas, wonderful support. I cannot thank you enough for that. When we are going through things like this where it's uncertain, there's so much uncertainty, even though we did not succumb to that uncertainty because we knew what we knew, even when we didn't know it. We didn't know the words, the details, the day, the hour, but we knew. And what we knew was everything was going to be all right. Everything was going to be all right. So I think that is how you be there for your people. When your people are going through something, you speak life into them. You speak hope into them. You speak a future to them, a future that is on their side. We don't sit and dredge up the details of the thing, the details. We don't sit in that feeling. We don't sit in that situation. We speak about possibility. We speak about hope. We speak about love. We speak about God. We speak about the goodness and the favor that we have on our lives. That's what we speak about. Because it's easy to speak out on what is, what we can see with our physical eyes. But the greater challenge where you're going to prove what you made of is when you can speak on those things that you can't see, that you don't have the exact answers for. But what you know is you are victorious. You are a winner. You are blessed. That's what you know. And that's what you're going to speak on. And that's how you're going to be there for your people. That's how you're going to be there for your people. We ain't going to talk about all of the naysaying possibilities. Who cares? Who cares? Because as easy as it is to talk about all of the bad outcomes, we could easily talk about all of the great outcomes too. Why not? Why not? If only but to feel better. If only just to feel better. Feeling better. That's what this is all about. Everything we do is to feel better, right? You don't stop feeling bad until you know the bad news. But if you didn't know the bad news, you walking around in bliss and glory because you don't know. But as soon as you hear about it, what shifts? The shift is the knowing, and that's what shifts you mentally. Then act like you don't know. Or sometimes it's just better not to know. So that brings you, as a friend, as a supporter in people's lives, is it your job to tell people things? Is it your job to tell people things, especially when it comes to bad news? Bad news. Is it your job to be the messenger? I always say this, and I've always believed this. Ask yourself, is the news something they can use and do something with, or is it just gossip? If they can't do nothing with the news you're about to bring, keep it to yourself. Nobody needs to know. Who cares? Keep it to yourself. For real. Unless action can be taken by knowing a thing, then communicate that with love. But always question what is your agenda. I don't know how we got here. I don't. We just talking, y'all. And I'm about to go into work because it looks like I won't be leaving early today. So that's what it is. Let me call the peoples and let them know that psych-alike, not today, maybe tomorrow. Love y'all so much. And I just want the best. Honestly, I just want the best for all of us. Every single last one of us. And thank y'all for previewing tomorrow or Friday's outfit. Talk to y'all later. Bye.